Um, uh, uh, I'm I'm not coming out tonight. That's not it. Thanks. I have a lot to say about it because it got way more expensive than I had planned, and if you buy it just outright, the simple base price, you don't get a functioning vehicle. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the evening. It's gonna be a great night. First and foremost, we're just chilling. I'm gonna cover some stuff that I've been wanting to cover for 100% of this year, 2022. So, if you're not familiar, if you're not a part of the show, if you haven't been around it long, you don't know what it is. Racing on the Rocks was a podcast, YouTube channel, the whole 9 yards, everything you can think of. Every version of social media, we had it. And what it started as was a podcast for interviewing racers, drivers, manufacturers, important people when it comes to off-roading. I did that for a long time. And one of the things that people don't know is I was making pretty good money off of Racing on the Rocks. Um, I was doing fine. The show was healthy. I had viewers coming in. We were, I mean, I don't know exactly when we hit like 1 million listens on all of our episodes, but we hit that a long time ago. Um, a long time ago. I think that was this year we hit 1 million. So, or maybe even last year. So everything was going good. So why stop doing the show? Why stop making podcasts? Stop doing all that? Well, to keep it simple, I just lost my love for it. I did. And I've been thinking about this since January of this year. The graphic that you guys saw for JtmwTV, it was made in February of this year, and I've just held on to it. And I got to talking to my team because, obviously this is not a one-man operation all the time. There are some aspects of the show, of the podcast, of the game streams that require more than one person to be successful. I'm going to turn myself up here just a little bit. Y'all let me know on volume if it's kind of weird or whatnot, but long story short, I started to feel pretty boxed in because I was covering content that I didn't love. I mean, straight up. The saying, like, once you see sausage, like once you see how sausage is made, and then it kind of ends there, and it kind of insinuates that you don't want to eat sausage after you see how it's made. I got so deep into everything with the race announcement, hosting live feed streams there. I was doing some live streaming with the game stuff then, the podcast. The money, the support that all of my sponsors were giving me at the time definitely justified it. It was amazing, actually. But there were a couple events that happened that kind of just made me fall out of love with like full-size off-roading, which is kind of weird because for the longest time, that's been the one thing in the show's history, that's been the one thing in my own life that pretty much stayed relevant from like 15 to 27. So it's been hard, and it's hard to do. So here's what really happened, right? I had a baby, and all of a sudden I have this thing that I care a ton about, and I have this thing that is so time intensive, so requiring, gives great benefits back, but I'm not in love with it anymore. So I just decided that we're going to go a little bit of a different direction. I didn't want to throw the podcast away. Obviously, it never hurts you to have a group of people together, a community. The community behind the podcast surprised me. I didn't think anybody was listening. I didn't think, when I first started, I started it for me. I was getting a chance to talk to all these people. I mean, if you've listened to the podcast, I'm very underqualified to have that position and all the positions that I did have after that. So all I could say is that I'm super blessed to have that opportunity, and it was amazing. And what we're going to do is we're going to build on top of it. If you haven't seen it already, JtmwTV is going to be the new brand for all of my stuff. what does that mean? You know, what was that? What is off-roading stuff going away? No. So we are going to still cover off-road stuff. I haven't been doing race coverage in like a long time. The racing aspect of it kind of not as exciting anymore, and I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. I think that, you know, so I'm going to cover off-roading. I love the game streams. I love having fun with the boys. I love the RC stuff. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to open up content to everything. I wanted to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and not have these restrictions that I felt covering only off-road stuff. So what we're going to do is I'll tell you guys a little bit about the content that I have. I have like 5 RC crawlers and bouncers that I have in my stable. I want to do complete reviews on those because one of those is a $1,000 chassis that I bought from China. It's an RC Speedy C2 chassis. I have a lot to say about it because it got way more expensive than I had planned, and if you buy it just outright, the simple base price, you don't get a functioning vehicle, in my opinion. So we'll talk about that. I've built a custom limo bouncer, is what we've called it, and I've never seen anything like it. I took 2 frames that Axial makes and put them together and made a bouncer. So I have a lot of stuff on that side. I've got SEX 24 parts coming. This is really exciting. Jordan Pellegrino from obviously Gen Right, King of the Hammers. He's been on the podcast a couple times, but also he now is the owner of Little Guys Racing Parts. He may be the owner. That may be like not the exactly right title. He'll be online tomorrow night with us here on the live stream to talk to us about the SEX 24 stuff, because I have one. I have questions about the SEX 24. Like, I have one, and you know, like, I've bought all the expensive motors. You know, I've taken all the stock parts completely out of the car, and I still hate it. And I'm trying to figure out where these guys that really love these things, like, what's the big catch? It kind of sucks. Like, mine sucks. And I think that it's crazy to have the smallest platform cost you $1,000 to get it to the point where it's really fun to play with. And when I say it sucks, that's relative. It's fun to drive around my living room and run my 1-year-old over with it, but is you know, for what we do with the RC cars, I think it's just maybe a little off. So we'll have to figure that out. But what I will say is that I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to you guys. Obviously, we have altogether, I think we have 17 or 18,000 followers of this platform, of this show. So I want to keep making content, but if I want to make content on you know, some reaction stuff that happens in the world, some reaction stuff that happens in the off-road world. I've been wanting to cover the Super ATV buyout actually a lot, but I'm just kind of behind on like all that I can do. I have a super scuffed webcam right now. Tomorrow, I actually have a brand new webcam coming so that I can cover things with actual 4K, you know, images. I bought a professional camera because I really want to make cool content that no one's making out there. And I think we're doing a lot of really cool stuff here with the online gaming. The online rock bouncing, going nowhere. The trail rides, going nowhere. Hanging with the boys, going nowhere. But we're going to do a lot here. So this video is just to tell you, be excited. We're not going to stop covering anything, really. We just want to cover more. So we're going to change the brand. Obviously, if you're a supporter from the Racing on the Rocks days, thank you for what you've done. You guys have given me a gift that I'll never be able to replicate again in my life. I've gotten opportunities to do some of the most amazing things that I never thought I would do. Meet the best of the best drivers in the entire world. Make some of them mad, make some of them my friends. So I've had a blast, you guys. I'm going nowhere. It's just going to look a little different, okay? So if you guys have feedback, if you guys have comments, put them in chat, put them in the comments, do whatever it is that you guys want to do, because I really want to build a bigger community. You know, I have a lot of, my off-road community is my community right now, but I'm going to loop in some other people too, some people that may not be as in-depth on the off-road stuff, and I want to bring them into our stable and have a little bit more fun, just all the way around. So let me know what you guys think. If you can't tell, if you're, well, let me say this before we close that piece out. If you're not following us on YouTube, that's going to be our big platform push. We stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Here's the bad news, and if you're on Facebook, please pay attention to this. Eventually, we are going to stop streaming to Facebook. It just sucks for live streams. It's really hard to get information out. It's hard for me to tell you guys where to go find stuff once the live streams are done. So YouTube will be our primary place. If you guys aren't subscribed there, it's still Racing on the Rocks. In the next couple days, it'll turn into JtmwTV, and then everything will finally be JtmwTV all the way across the board: Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So I'm super happy to have you guys hanging out with us. That is the end of my YouTube segment. I'm going to slice that up, make it a YouTube video. But yeah, guys,